You know, I'm still looking at these things. They're just really cute. Welcome back, everyone, to Create Dinosaurs. Episode 30 now, where we are going to be returning back over there. That is right, we are going to go back to working on the Mosasaurus Lagoon and stuff, because we took a little bit of a break to do the interior of that building and stuff, but I would like to get back to this. Because the Mosasaurus is actually my goal for the next dinosaur. So we need to get to working on this today, and that is going to be a little bit of a complex process, because what it means we have to do is, first of all, cover up any sort of caves like this. I've done this one with cobblestone slabs for now. We need to remove any sort of obstructions like this, and I think after that, then we can kind of handle like all of the terraforming and stuff, which is going to involve both like putting in sand and everything, but also just sort of some nice little decorations like this. So yeah, we've got a lot to do today. And I think we're going to start off by removing this and stuff, which sounds really simple until you realize this is underwater and I don't have a conduit, which means for all of the work that we're going to be doing today, I basically have to dive down, do whatever I can do, like mine away this cobblestone whilst drowning, and then just like once I start running out of air, just need to return to the surface, take a breath, and do that all over again. That was 6 blocks. So yeah, as you can imagine, this first step is going to take quite a long time, despite the fact that it really doesn't involve that much. So I mean, like, let's just get to work quickly. This is taking a really long time. Is there a way I can get around this? And there we go, it's all cleared out. Now, you might be thinking, Pineapple, haven't we just made a massive mess here? I mean, like, I dug away half of the terrain by accident. And the answer is yes, but I don't really care. Because, I mean, like, all of this is going to get terraformed over anyway, because I would like for the majority of the area around here to be sand. So, like, I'm not too concerned about accidentally digging away the terrain or anything, because, like, it's all gonna get covered up. And yeah, I don't know why, but just taking that out of the building and everything, like just removing that one small bit has made this area feel much bigger, and it's also making me dread terraforming this a lot more because I've realized how much I actually need to place down. And yeah, so speaking of terraforming and everything, I think that's probably what we need to do next. And just looking at the size of this area, I think if we did it all with just sand, then it probably wouldn't look that good. You know, it would kind of look a bit flat. So I think we're going to do a very similar thing to what I did over here and stuff with all of this sand, where we're kind of gonna mix in some birchwood and some sandstone, which might be a little bit expensive because I don't actually have like a farm for sandstone or anything. The only thing is I've just got a bunch of sand which I can turn into sandstone. On another note, actually, how much birchwood do I have? Not much. Okay, right, I have a birch sapling in another chest and everything, so I think I'm gonna plant all of this. I've also got some wood, which was also there. But yeah, I'll still go and plant some more just in case, because I'm not actually sure how much this is going to require. So yeah, I'm probably going to go with like a majority being sand and sandstone. However, I think I will add like a little bit of extra birch wood just in case. Because I mean, like, the water down here is fairly deep and stuff, so like I feel like we're going to need a bit more texturing to stand out. So yeah, I think if I just go and grab as much sand as possible to fill up my hotbar. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not really going to worry about designing the shape of the sort of landscape myself. Instead, I'm probably just going to follow what's going on with the terrain already. So like it's kind of less of me deciding on the shape myself and stuff, and more of just me, you know, building on what's already here. We're essentially just going to cover up everything that's already existed. And yeah, I think this is going to take a whole lot more resources than I am initially expecting. So I mean, once again, let's get to work. This one's gonna take several hours. drowned with a passion. I hope the Mosasaurus kills them all. Welcome back, everyone. It has been a really long time. This bit took so much longer than I thought it would. Or, well, actually, I don't think it actually took that long. I think it's just, it really felt like a long time. Because trying to fill all of this in with sand and like other sand-like blocks and everything, oh my gosh, it took so long, and there's so many drowns trying to kill me. Why did I get 2 tridents spawn at once? That's not fun. I don't want to deal with that. But anyway, it's over. It's done with now. And you might have noticed in the montage, if I kept it in, but I went to the Nether at some point to go and get this. And that is because, unsurprisingly, I worked out that water breathing and night vision is a really useful thing to have down there. So I've just been making myself some potions and everything so that the work's a bit easier to do. But yeah, so the next part of the plan which I think we need to do is I want to add in some decorations down there and stuff, because currently it's just empty water. In fact, it's even more empty than it was before, because after all of the terraforming that we've done and stuff, it has gone and removed all of the seagrass and the kelp that was there. So it's literally just a barren landscape right now, which, given the fact that the Mosasaurus actually quite liked to live in the shallows and stuff, that is probably not a great environment for them. So what I think the next stage of this plan is going to be is I'm going to actually go and decorate it, and I'm thinking again like some of the stuff I just listed, the seagrass and the kelp and everything like that, because I'm also wondering if I can maybe add some rocks as decoration. Like, you remember how I put these sorts of things in the aviary and everything? Oh look, some of our dinosaurs are growing up. But yeah, these rocks which I went and put in the aviary, they use a resource called, I believe it's just rocky stone, if I remember correctly. Yeah, rocky stone, and that is literally just made by combining stone and cobblestone. But personally, I think it is a really nice looking block, especially when you mix it with stuff like andesite and normal stone. How's our Quetzalcoatlus doing whilst we're here? Yep, you good? Up there? Are you stuck? So yeah, once again, we're going to be using a decent bit of andesite in a build and everything, which is kind of annoying because it takes a really long time for my farm to build back up. But in exchange for a really nice looking build, I think I kind of have to go with it. Now, of course, for all of the other stuff, I can kind of just use bone meal and everything. That should produce plenty of seagrass, and it's probably going to look passable. I'm not the sort of person where I like doing a bunch of foliage manually. So I'm hoping if I just go and spam a bunch of bone meal and everything, it will end up looking fine. Now, as for what these rocks are going to look like and stuff, so I'm probably going to mimic sort of what we have here and everything, where it's just like random little pillars. However, the thing that I need to keep in mind is we are going to have a pretty big creature in here. So if I put too many rocks that are too closely packed, it's just kind of not going to be able to get through it very easily. So I think we're probably going to keep rocks sort of over this end in the really shallow areas, and maybe have like one nice bit in the middle with them. But the rest, I think, is just going to need to rely on seagrass. And also kelp, but I don't really have a good supply of kelp with me, so I need to wait for that. Wait! No, I do have a good supply of kelp. Wait, I've completely forgotten about something. My taco farm for our restaurant down here should have a kelp farm, and if I'm correct, oh, wow, that's actually not full. I'm gonna be honest, I would have assumed that this would have overflowed by now, but I mean, like, there we go, we've got plenty of kelp. Is it broken? Is my farm broken? But right, okay, so we've got a decent supply of all of the resources that we need and stuff, and yeah, I think I'm probably going to do it like this. Just a lot of spires and everything. Oh, I use walls in these. I should probably do that. Oh, this is getting more complex. But right, so I'm thinking we're going to use like probably around 3 stacks of rocky stone, so I'm gonna need a stack and a half of this each. Just like that. I guess we're also going to need a decent supply of stone and also cobblestone walls. So what are we up to? That's 5 stacks. So I think we'll get 2 more stacks of stone and then maybe 2 stacks of andesite. That feels like a good mixture. And now I need to... Ow. Now, I just need to go and grab my extra potion here, so we just need to make that so it's going to last longer. And yeah, so I'll go and take all of these, and I think we're going to deal with the rocks first, just because the rocks are sort of going to have other things put on top of them. Like, I'm pretty sure we can grow seagrass on the rocks, can't we? Yeah, okay, but I don't think we can do the same with kelp. Kelp is going to require actual sand, but I'm pretty sure everything else is fine. So right, with all of our resources ready, let's get to work. Oh, I forgot to drink the potions. Okay, so that is all of the rocks done, I think, and now I need to decorate them. I think since Dan's enclosure is no longer being used by Dan, we can repurpose these leaves. Once again, I am really liking the look of that. All right, time for the kelp. You know what? I think it looks really good. I mean, it's simple, but it's probably the best I can do. So obviously, you can't really see it too well right now because I haven't got night vision on. Luckily, I have got a couple extra potions. But as you can see, so there's seagrass pretty much everywhere, although there are a few areas where I've left it clear, because I think if it was everywhere, then, like, it would just kind of look a bit weird. So, like, there's some clear patches, but a lot of areas do have it, especially around the rocks and stuff. It just feels like it makes sense for stuff to grow around the rocks, because... Ow. Because, like, if you were thinking about it logically and stuff, the rocks is where a lot of the tide is going to get caught on things, so anything washing around in the tide is going to get stuck there. So, you know, you'd expect plants to grow. You just broke my armor. What was that? Oh my gosh. But right, if I go and drink some night vision here, then you can see it all lit up. And yeah, there we go. Wow, okay, that was much easier to see above the surface. So yeah, as I said, a lot of seagrass located around the rocks and stuff. And this one, I really wanted to put a lot just because, like, this is the main rock. It's why it's also got some extra leaves and everything like that. But then, if we go and look at this area over here, this is sort of going to turn into the kind of kelp forest in a way. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this all looks like once it grows, because I have absolutely no clue. I think a lot of it is going to reach the surface, but like some of the stuff down there might not. And I think kelp is one of those plants that sort of reaches a point where it stops growing as well. So it might have some decent variation. Now, I might go and grab like 1 or 2 bits and dot them around elsewhere. However, I really think it's the sort of thing where it should grow in bunches, so like it should just be a kelp forest really, rather than a kelp patch. But for what we've got here, I quite like it. I mean, like, it's somewhat low effort and everything, but it looks good, and at the end of the day, a lot of it is deep underwater, so you're not going to see it anyway. So I think I'm perfectly happy with this and stuff, and I think it is ready for next episode, because we are going to get another Mosasaurus. I mean, like, it's already ready. It's been sat in this chest here for absolutely ages. So yeah, stay tuned for next episode when that happens, because I'm gonna find a way to tame it as well. Oh, this can only go horribly.